Detective Comics 971, James Tynion the fourth, Miguel Madoncha on the art. So I enjoyed the last couple of issues of this, but the last couple of issues were definitely set up. This was the payoff. This is everything coming together, and I love this issue of Tech.
I don't like what it made me do. I don't like that it made me feel things
Oh, okay, right.
at the end.
It did make
Yeah.
me feel things. Makes you feel a lot of things. So basically, the Victim Syndicate and all of their followers have got Arkham, and they're making demands. The reporter goes in. There's a little bit of Arkham Asylum, old Grant Morrison's story, in the sense that their demand is that
Okay.
Batman come to the asylum and surrender. And he kind of does. In fact, I love the scene back at the Belfry where they're all kind of arguing, and Kate brings up that Tim tried to contact Kane about the the colony airship becoming part of
Yeah.
their arsenal, and they all kind of give Tim shit, and it breaks it into this argument. And I love that Cass is like, no, not now, Clayface in trouble, and she's like, no, we're doing this now, stop this.
Our
And
friend is in trouble. We need to help our friend. Who cares about your difference in philosophy?
yeah,
That's why I love Cass.
in fewer words because it's Cass.
Well,
But
of course.
yeah, so I love those moments, and then Tim keeps trying and trying, and eventually Bruce is just like, Tim, enough, damn it, right? This is what we're doing, and everyone's wanting Batman to go himself. The mayor wants him to go himself, even Gordon, because when he shows up and Gordon's like, how I feel about
Yeah.
kids, Batman, it's like he'll help Batman to the end, to the end of the earth, but he does not condone the kids helping.
No.
So no,
Oh
I like
man,
that.
I love what Batman does though. Here, like it's
Just
the
going in
most.
without hesitation, just going in and surrendering.
He goes in and surrenders, yeah, but of course there's more to that plan,
Oh sure, yeah.
you know. And so I just love him going in there and basically getting the first victim to kind of monologue for a bit. He gives us some nice exposition. I mean, I need to know who this first victim is. I feel like it's staring us in the face.
We're building to it.
Him being able to put the yeah. Well, I just mean like we should be able to pick up on the Tinian's such a good writer. We should be able to pick up on the breadcrumbs, but he's done such a good job at keeping it close to the vest. Like we're just there, and then when it's revealed, we'll be like, oh, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, emotionally this was a gut punch. Obviously, something else is brewing because he sends the rest of the team to sort of monitor the rallies that are in support of the Victim Syndicate in various parts of town. And they notice that, these sewer lines, these locations are weird, and the only thing that makes sense is that the sewer lines connect to Arkham. So, interesting ideas there. But yeah, Batman get into the asylum, and obviously has his badass moment where Victim says, well, you're going to have to fight all of us, and he's like, well, let's get on with it then. And then we come
Yeah.
back later, and he's just beating up all these
The
cronies.
guards.
That's what he
Yeah.
does. But the emotional crux of this year. So earlier on, we had Cass, being concerned about Clayface. We see Clayface being tortured by Mudface, electroshocked. She's trying to goad him into being the villain. And at the end of the issue, it is like a proper horror monster movie where Batman realizes what's happened. He's telling Jim and the cops to get out. And we see
Yep.
just the clay coming in and then forming. And it's like, I don't feel sad or guilty anymore. I'm who I am. And he just, the final big page is monstrous Clayface coming to fight. And I'm like,
You shouldn't have trained me.
because now he can fight. Yeah, now he's a good fighter as well.
Yeah.
Do you know what I love about this? I love that since the start of this book, we've been kind of almost been building to this
Yep.
idea that he is good, but the evil side is fighting to get out, and it's
Yep.
been corrupted to this point. That this is so much. You can kind of tell we're getting to the end of Tinian's run. I think. I feel like we're getting to all the payoffs that he's got planned
Yeah.
for the last sort of stretch of what he's doing. I feel like we may get an epilogue arc or two after this, but then that's probably going to be it. I think he's not long for this book, and in a good way, in the sense that he's ending his story, not
Yeah.
because I think he's running
Well,
out of steam
and
or
maybe
whatever.
if that's just the way he writes, he takes some time off, and then he'll come back, and he can tell
Yeah, maybe.
the next part. But yeah, just the Mudface thing, and like if the Victim Syndicate's all supposed to be about making things right, it seems like they're not really. They're just about the first victim being right. And that with Mudface, because he's like, I came and I said I'm sorry. This is Clayface talking to Mudface. And there's nothing that I can do to take back what I did. I've tried. And he even a couple issues ago told her about the cure. And he wanted to be her to get the first. But she rather have hung on to the
The hate. Yeah.
the hate. And I like that commentary. And I feel like Dr. October is going to come rushing in and we'll have a Beauty and the Beast kind of moment with those two.
Oh, I think she'll give whatever it is to Cass, and Cass will have the Beauty and the Beast moment.
Ah, that too.
I think that's maybe where I'd see. I can see that being really. I think Cass will be the one who brings him back. Like he'll be fighting everyone, and Cass will be the one who talks sense to him in some way, and it'll be heart wrenching. In fact, the whole thing, like him being tortured, it was kind of like a movie with an animal where the animal gets tortured. It felt like that scene from like one of those movies.
Yeah, definitely. And not that Basil's an animal, but just the way that they're doing it, and he's telling him to stop. And he's like, "Just give me my cuff back, please." And
I'm thinking like How to Train Your Dragon when like like his dad and that are like mistreating Toothless. Like it feels kind of like one of those moments, and it hit hard. So I think this is paying off great. Everything he's been setting up for arcs and arcs is really starting to pay off. So I dug
and
this.
who would have thought that Clayface and Batgirl, well, Orphan, were gonna get the two biggest developments in a book with Kate Kane and Tim Drake and Stephanie Brown,
Well, that's the thing. I think they all have had big developments, which is the impressive part.
Yeah, but those two characters are completely different from when we started with them. Versus,
I think they're the heart of the story, certainly.
Yeah.
At least so far. But I think they've all had growth, which is great. They've all had something that's kind of poking at who their character are. Some more than others. Arguably, Batwing's maybe the least developed in the sense that he's just kind of the tech guy who's there.
And I'm okay with that because that's kind of who he is. He talks a big game, and even Azrael in his short thing, he went from being like an orderly at Dr. Tompkins' clinic to back being Azrael again. So that was that's pretty cool. I really like what's going on in this book with the Bat team.
Yeah, no, the build-up's great. I feel like we're building this big, event that's happened, this big crisis with Arkham and all that. But it has the emotional core there because of Clayface. So it feels personal, and you want to beat him, but you want to save him as well. You don't want him to have to go down.
No.
And I think the biggest worry is that at the end of this, he's not going to be back to himself completely. Like he's going to be back to being a villain, and that is deeply concerning. And I never thought I'd say it. I'm hoping for Clayface to have redemption and be good, but it feels like it might go that way. And it's amazing how much I care about Clayface now.
Yeah,
really impressive.
I agree.
So and that was pretty good. Not amazing, but good. Solid. So
does its job.